All right, I'm gonna be serious. Yes.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are live, and I'm so excited about this conversation. So please come on in here and be a part of what's about to happen. I have not done an evening video in a while, but let me tell you guys, this one's about to be for the record books. You heard me correctly. Woo! Bring somebody in with you by sharing, tagging, and inviting them on and say, Coach Ricardo Miller is live on this beautiful Tuesday evening. And here's the deal. After I do this, I got 2 more assignments that I got to make happen today. Yeah. Woo! I woke up this morning saying it is December 1st. I'm about to finish strong. Okay? Can y'all say that with me? I'm about to finish strong. I need you to declare that right now, right where you are. I'm about to finish strong. Please check in and let me know you're watching. I want to hear from you. I'm about to finish strong. It is December 1st, y'all. Ending the year strong. If you're joining me, I need you to join me in declaring I'm going to end the year strong. The rest of this year, I'm going to make the best of this year. Do you know that there is still a chance for you to get some stuff done in this year that just did not happen within the first 11 months? Man, listen, I'm talking to someone who knows. Listen, Tonke, I see you. DC, listen, Tonke, declare it right now. I know you're working on that book. Congratulations. Hey, listen, finish the year strong. That's what it's all about. Today, I am excited. I have a woman of God. I mean, she's gifted, she has the ability to simply bless people through what God has allowed her to develop over the years. I want to welcome to Effective Living. This is Elder Cheryl. How are you doing, woman of God?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are
Do,
you?
do anybody call you evangelist as well?
Yes.
See that? I thought so. Okay, I thought so. Listen, to our viewing audience, watching from around the world, I see Minister Carol Crockett diving in there, declaring, "I'm going to finish strong." That's what I'm talking about. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself before we dive into our conversation. I want them to know who this woman of God is, where you're located, what are some of the things you're doing, and we're going to dive into our conversation.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your Effective Living show. And I'm just well, I was going to say a little girl, but yeah, a little older. But I got saved at a young age, which was a blessing because I was already going down the wrong road. And I'm just someone that loves Jesus. And when the altar call was given and the man said that he would give you a clean slate and you can start new, I was like, yes. And you would think at 15 I didn't have that, but I needed that. And so basically, a daddy's girl, love my dad. My mom too, but I was really a daddy's girl, and I just you could tell I don't like talking about myself. I'm so used to talking about other people, but I am a lover of Jesus and just excited to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're able to be here. There's been so much happening in our world today. You committed your life to Jesus. Obviously, I heard you just said as a teenager.
Yes,
Mhm.
I did, and I was already I don't, well, my testimony, we were already from a small town in Beckley, West Virginia, and you either went to church or you went to the clubs. And I was always older and, older acting. I wasn't
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
And so we would stand on a corner and they call it pot today, but, we were doing whatever drugs and things we could find. So when the Lord, this one lady was coming down the street and I was coming this way. I don't know if you can see my hands.
Yep.
And I heard this voice say, "There goes your future." And
Mhm.
she was always drunk and she was always, you know, getting hit on by her husband, and I just knew that I needed to change
Yeah, yeah,
early
yeah.
in life.
Wow. Wow. Well,
Yeah,
we're glad that you decided to embrace that change.
I know,
I have a
right?
similar story. When I was young, I had a moment where I realized, you know what? A guy said to me, literally, he says, he says, some 25 years ago, I used to be you. So what you talking about, right? I used to
Wow.
be you. And listen, the light bulb turned on right there. Pam! And I
See.
realized, hey, you know what? Wow. And I knew his story because as a kid, growing up, he was notorious. You know what I'm saying? He was the
Mm-hmm.
guy. And obviously, at that point, I was starting to sort of become the guy. Ladies and gentlemen, the conversation that we're having this evening is going to be one for the record books because I believe that it is important for us to discover the place where we belong and the thing that brings life to our lives that causes us to in turn give life. And so,
Mm-hmm.
Elder Cheryl, you committed your life to music. You're a music artist. Why music? Why gospel music?
Well, I like music that touches and reaches the heart. And even when I was growing up, I have three brothers and a sister. So it was seven of us all together in the house. And, my mom and dad and five siblings. So my brothers would always be listening to, all of this other music. And I was like, I don't want to sing about sex and drugs. And so when growing up, I listened to Natalie Cole. And I also would sneak and listen to like the pop, what we call it inspirational, whatever. And my brothers would laugh at me because it wasn't like our culture music. I'm in there, going down on a horse with no name. And I'm singing all of these songs.
Uh-huh.
My brothers was like, you are not kin to us. So when I, like I said, when I was growing up, I loved Natalie Cole. And then when I got saved, I started listening to Tremaine Hawkins. And so I always wanted to sing something that meant something. And even today, I love songs that reach the heart. So if it doesn't move me, I don't think it's going to move anybody else. So I think that's to me the key to sing something. And gospel does that. Gospel has, or inspiration, however they want to, you want to name it. It has a way of transforming. It transforms you, and you could be having a bad day, and a song could come on, and it'll change your whole entire attitude. And that's why I think gospel music. And plus, if I was, a size zero and could drop it like it's hot, maybe I could be Beyonce. But at this
It,
point,
it wasn't happening. Yeah, you weren't going Beyonce route. Well,
no.
listen, I'm going to come off the screen for a minute. I'm going to put you on the screen. Could you tell us when did you find your voice, when you knew that the mic and the stage was going to be the place where you would find life or and give life? When did you discover what we would call you from the stage standpoint? Can you tell our viewing audience that I'm going to come out? I'm going to give you about 3 to 5 minutes to just share about that evolving moment that you knew this is where I belong.
Well, it was amazing because before I gave my life, to the Lord, I was singing, and I used to always sing. My dad said I would just be standing around and climbing up on things and just singing. And when I was in junior high, I won my first award show. I don't want to tell how old I am by saying it was a gong show, but I think it was that. And so, of course, I sang. I'm like 13, 14, something. And I sang, of course, Natalie Cole, I Got Love on My Mind. And it was at like our high school, junior high. And somebody broke my record. Yeah. And so the music teacher started going dun 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 dun. I'm looking like I'm waiting on the music to start, and it didn't start. So I guess someone thought I was going to win, and they broke the little record thing. And I just was standing there, and I just started singing, and I won. And so that was, I sang Natalie Cole, I Got Love on My Mind that year. And then the next year I sang Our Love by Natalie Cole, and I won again. And so I was never like really stage fright, I don't think. I think more so now when it's thousands. I mean, this was junior high,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I just knew that there was something that I had to offer the world, and it was my voice.
Yeah.
And people were always talking about, oh my gosh, your voice, da 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 da, and then we'll get into some other things that people love you, but then you try to mimic what you think people want.
Right.
So, but that was my first experiences, and then singing in church.
Yeah.
My first solo. You want to know what my first solo was?
What was your first solo?
I made my dad drive in the snow to get to the church, and there was like maybe 10 people there.
Yeah.
But I sang, I made a vow to the Lord. You don't know nothing about that.
No, I don't know anything about
I made a vow to the Lord. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I was probably 15. That was like my first solo as a Christian. And the words just simply says, I promised him I'd go every step of the way because I made a vow to the Lord. And looking back, I guess, I was giving my testimony and didn't realize it.
Come on. I'm locking in very early. Locking in very early. When I came in, I wasn't a singer, of course, obviously. I still tell people I had a moment with a mic for a moment until someone more qualified came, and they put me in the second row, then to the third row, and then they stopped letting me know when the practice was. So eventually they stopped letting me know altogether. But back then, Lord, I'm Available to You was my song. You remember that one?
I do. I do.
Lord, I'm available to you. I give you my hands. I give you my voice. All of that stuff.
Yes.
Still the song that will speak to me no matter where I'm at. If I ever get the opportunity to be in a service and they decide to go back, that's that one right there.
That one. But let me tell you something, Coach Miller.
Yeah.
It all, that life is a process.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I went from I made a vow and then, she became the singer. No, I was looked over. I was not the most likely to succeed. There were other singers that were, I guess, more polished or more, I don't know. I think God sends, you go through these, these processes to make sure that you don't think what the Bible says, you don't think more highly than you are of yourself. So I was not that was, I was not.
So you're telling me you had your humbling moment. You had your moment of testing and trying, of the trying of your faith, seeing if this is really what you're called to do, or is it that you just want the stage, you want the mic, and if they don't give you the mic, you're going to walk out of church, you're going to walk away from the Lord. You had to submit yourself. That's what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. And many times, and this is, not a slight to anybody, but I remember, because you got to, I wasn't perfect from 15 on, so I don't want to ever give that impression. But I remember I would be like the last person that they would call on to do a solo. They would be like, it's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. And I just remember this one service where the I guess you call it the MC or the person that was doing the service, she was looking around and nobody else was there. And she said, well, I guess we'll call on Cheryl, and and I'm young and I'm a young Christian, but I love Jesus and I had such a zeal. And I was like, whether you call on me or not, But what I didn't realize was that during that process of, like you said, not wanting the mic, I wasn't, I mean, when I tell you I was not the most likely to succeed,
Yeah.
there was 1,000, not 1,000, let me not, Lord forgive me. There was like, we had the quote unquote person that had all the solos.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, I was the soprano
Yeah.
and I was singing, but um no, I was not the one that you would have thought that God would have taken around the world.
Wow.
I was not that. And I think God, and I know that he does that so that when he did take me around the world,
Yeah.
I'm sure I had my moments of being a diva, but
Yeah.
most of the time I kept that humbleness because
Yeah.
I knew that it was but for the grace of God
Yes.
that these doors were opening for me.
I love it. I love it. This goes really well with our next question. My whole goal with this platform is to help people to understand there is a place where we belong, where our
Yes.
gifting connects with our life in every single way. In other words,
Yeah.
it's like fish in water. It's like a bird in
Right.
the sky. You're like, you know what? I can do this forever. And so
Hmm.
for me, I wanna push this question next to you. In looking back, what has been the most influential moment in your life as you travel this journey and you look back and say, it was this moment I thought, oh my goodness, this is my greatest moment in gospel music as an artist. Woo! What was that for you?
Yeah, you would think it was singing before 84,000 people in the Georgia Dome. You would
Uh,
think that it was being on television for 5 years every
yeah,
Tuesday,
yeah.
but it wasn't.
Wow.
My greatest was when my very first CD I made in, what was it, 96, I think, somewhere down in
Uh-huh.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And it had no bells, no whistles,
Yep.
nothing. And I did it. It was called Resting in His Word, which
Uh-huh.
is actually what my radio show is
Yep.
called. And everything was based on scripture. Yea, let none that wait on thee be ashamed. I mean, just simple. And so my greatest was when people would call me and or they would see me and they would say, you know what, me and my husband were fighting and I put your CD on and it brought so much peace in my home. And then I
Wow.
got one letter that said I was ready to, commit suicide in my life. And I
Yeah.
was listening. I get choked up about that. She said, I
Yeah.
listened, I put your CD on,
Wow.
and it
Yeah.
brought me back to life. And
Yeah.
and that I think is, out of all of it, I
Yeah.
think just the fact that it was able to bring peace
Yeah.
and joy to someone's life is my greatest one.
I appreciate you sharing that because I think that even that and how you shared it speaks to the realness of who you are and the understanding that the accomplishment and the journey of the splendor that came with purpose being maximized and opportunities being given, that
Mhm.
really when you connect with your real purpose, it's actually bringing value and making a difference. And I think all of the big moments, they're amazing. But I think when I heard you and I know me and so many others, but knowing that those big moments really, the goal of all of those moments still is to connect with our heart. The goal
Yes.
of those moments is to change a life. The goal of the moment is to get a testimonial in the form of a text message and an email and a
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, and a letter that simply says, I have a question. And that
Mm.
is, how can I get another CD because the last CD,
Right.
where can I get another copy of what I already had because I got to give it to someone else because it was the difference maker for me when I wanted to give up. And so, man, thanks for sharing that. That's amazing. Let me ask you this: who has been the most influential person in your life up to this point as a minister and a emerging voice early on, only to find yourself continuing to grow and go? Who could you look back and say, man, listen, this person right here helped me more than anybody else become who I am today?
Well, there's only one, and that was my dad. My dad was a Baptist pastor. Let me give him a shout out, Reverend Carl E. Boggs. And he was my hero. And he did not think, let me phrase this right. He thought I could do anything. Like, he believed so in me that when I told him that God had called me to preach and his denomination did not believe in women preachers, my dad stood up and said, if my daughter says that God called her to preach, then God called her to preach.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, Daddy, I don't want you to get kicked out your organization and you know. But he was so influential in my life because I'll give another example. You know, mothers, my mom, I love my mom too. My mom, if I told my mom that I was going to climb a mountain, you know, my mom would be like, girl, you're going to break your neck. I don't want you to do it. Da, 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 da. My dad would be, okay, you're going to need boots. You're going to need rope. He believed in me.
Yeah.
And another example of why I am who I am, I'm so much like him. He was such a, like, I remember did a lot of sports and I played volleyball and I was really good. And so we went to the States and we didn't win. We were runners up. So I had 2 trophies, one for all tournament and one for, just being on the team. So he picked me up and I was like, Dad, we didn't win. He said, well, did you play the best game you could play? I was like, yeah. He said, well, then just get them next time. I mean, I was like, so he was my greatest influence. I watched his life. I watched his struggle, but he loved God and I would watch him and he would, after all of us went to sleep, he would be up studying for the message. And he just, everybody needs someone to believe in them.
Yeah,
and so, I'm glad of that. I'm really happy that I had that influence because, as you know, in life, you don't get a whole bunch of people patting you on the back and woo, they, after you have arrived, but when you're first starting and you're growing and you have to encourage yourself like David. You have to encourage yourself in the Lord and believe in what God placed inside of you.
That is so good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming live this evening. We have Evangelist Cheryl Bloggs. She is a woman of God who's been traveling, singing, blessing the world with her gift. And she's found her place. And today, as we talk about her journey, I'm excited to hear about what she is mentioning as to has been the critical points in her becoming who she is today. And so please feel free to go ahead and drop in where you're listening, watching, viewing this live from. For those of you that are watching us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. Those of you that are watching us on Facebook, share and invite someone else in. Really, the goal of this broadcast live is to help you to understand that you have something to offer, and we're going to bring people on that actually are embracing who they are, and they are providing a service to humanity that is making the world a better place. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad to hear that, like you mentioned, all of us need someone to believe in us. Big difference maker, to have someone that believes in you, to push courage and inspire. And, I tell people all the time, nobody is self-made. I don't think anybody is self-made. As a matter of fact, I've gone on to say I am the collective contribution of a lot of incredible people who have helped me to become who I am today.
Yes,
so,
and definitely.
So that is so good. Now, after looking at your journey and experiencing what you have experienced, and you're watching young ministers come up, people who are singing and jumping in this gospel arena to sing and so forth, I'm curious, what is 3 mistakes, 3 common mistakes you can watch from a distance, seeing someone who is now just starting, and be like, oh, I wish I could just share with them. I wish I could tell them. Now, I'm of the belief, advice given but not requested is seldomly appreciated. Okay. So I'm not a big believer in just going to share advice, but at the end of the day, once you've been doing something for a while, you know what I'm saying, and you got some experience, oftentimes when you see someone coming after you, you see what you used to do or did not do or wish someone had told you, but now you could tell someone, but they're probably not listening. And if you had to say something, what would be those 3 things you would say to someone young coming up in the industry right now?
Good question. First of all, I would say don't try to just fit in. Don't just, I guess, number 1 would be learn your own uniqueness and trust in the uniqueness that God placed inside of you. Because I remember trying all kind of things and I wanted to be like this one. I wanted to be like that one. But at the end, you have to come back to the true. And the true is what God placed inside of you. So the uniqueness, I will celebrate who you are. The world will try to tell you you're not good enough. Your mind will tell you you're not good enough. You don't sound like this person. You don't do, but trust what God placed inside of you, and don't do it for the money or the fame. I often hear people, think I'm going to put a CD out and it's going to hit number 1 and I'm just going to travel around the world. We've all been there. It seldom happens like that. You build, you build and you serve in other people's ministry. Some people have to serve as a background singer before they go out on their own. So it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you end up, but you do have to start. So number 1, embrace your uniqueness, because that's what's going to set you apart, not trying to sound like Kirk or whoever's out here right now. Ask me how I know. All right. Number 2, appreciate what God placed inside of you. And then number 3, like Coach Miller always says, do something that you don't need a vacation from. And don't expect millions on the first day. The first, when your first CD or your first record, your first anything. Now, God does do it, and I'm not saying that he doesn't, but I'm saying if you go into it just thinking about, just like preaching, if you go into it because you got the suit, you got the shoot, if you go into singing and you don't hit number 1 and you're not on the charts, and then now you're depressed, but you went into it the wrong way. Go into it saying, I have something that I believe God placed inside of me to share with the world. So here it is. And what do they say? There's a saying that they say, do what you would do if you didn't get paid for it.
Yes. Yeah. That's creating a life you don't need a vacation from right there.
Exactly. I'm learning from Coach Miller.
Ooh, I like it. That's what's up. Let me ask you this. What would you say to the 20-year-old Cheryl, if, looking back at what I know what you just shared just now is what you would give young and emerging coming up, but this would definitely be yours for sure. I'm me looking back. I mean, I've been doing what I've been doing for 24 years. I'm like, man, if somebody asks me that question, woo, man, that's just so many things, right? But just looking back, what would you say to 20-year-old just emerging, but now I know all that I know? Give us a couple of those things. What really comes to mind for you that you would say to you that just really needs to be said?
I would say to my 20-year-old self that you're enough. I would say don't get bothered by the hype. Don't get bothered by all the people that seemingly are passing you by. Stay your course and believe in what God placed inside of you. There were years, Ricardo, that I did not believe. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I was pretty enough. I didn't think that I was enough. And when you get to the point where you say, God, I'm going to give back to you what you gave me. That's all I can do. I can't run like Karen Clark. I can't do my voice and flip. And one day the Spirit was like, I'm not asking that of you. And I remember sitting on my couch and saying to God, I can only give back to you what you gave me.
Yes.
And that took a lot of pressure off of me, because I was trying, talking about Beyonce, I was trying to be, I was like, like everybody else. You're coming up and you want to be quote unquote famous. And,
Yes.
I want to win a Stellar, I want to win a Dove. And then, so in my, to my 20-year-old self, she thought that was it. She thought you get on TVN, you're going to travel the world, everything is good. But the reality is you have to do something that you love, and you have to do something that makes a difference. And when I realized that, I would tell my 20-year-old self, you're going to be okay.
Yeah. Isn't that good? Wow, that's so good. Let me ask you this. I know you've had an incredible journey. Can you reflect or think back of a moment? Because I've had a few of those, and that were they were on that bucket list. It was one of those things you desired to have or to achieve at some point, and you got it, and you woke up the next morning and nothing had changed, because you're like, I waited 10 years for this. I waited 15 years for this. I wanted this stage. I wanted this album. I wanted this trip. I wanted this moment. And I got the moment, or I got the stage. I experienced it. And I meet people all the time. If I could just get on TBN one time, if I could just get an interview in Ministry Today, if I could just get to speak for Bishop Jakes one time, or if I could just, and you got these people and they don't realize that a moment don't make you in and of itself. What would be for you one of those moments you thought, my goodness, if I had that, only to discover that it was just sort of a sort of a light check mark on my journey, but it wasn't the thing that ever made me what I thought it would have made me?
That's a tough one, because I've been very fortunate. But I remember growing up, like I said, everybody, you thought you get on TBN or you get the Stellar Awards and the Dove Awards and all of that. Well, I got a chance. I wasn't a soloist, but I got a chance to sing on the Stellar Awards years ago with the Potter's House, Dallas. And it was 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And so you think you waited your whole life for these 4 minutes. And then I was at the Dove Awards, and I got to hold. If you go to my website, you'll see me. I'm holding, their Dove Award prop that they have for the people come in, and I'm holding it, and I'm thinking, wow, I used to think that this was the ultimate, but I'm gonna tell you what the ultimate is. It's a secret. The ultimate is having peace within yourself, and being able to be happy and content where you are. And what I found, that's actually what I found. And then sang on TBN, did all of that. There's no, like you said, there's no guarantee. No matter what platform. I've been on some of the major platforms, but at the end of the day, I hate to say that. Everybody say, "Oh, I don't want to say that," but at the end, you really have to know who you are, and to know that you're accepted in the beloved, and the Lord loves you. And whether the rest of the world embrace your talent or not, you are doing it for Him. So I'm not sure if I answered the question.
You answered it. You answered it. I mean, that was perfect. Thank you so much. That was really, really good. I agree with you wholeheartedly. wholeheartedly. I think that's going to help a lot of people, because I think it's important for us to realize the whole thing is a journey, and there is no better place than knowing that where you are is where you belong, and that you're fitting in that moment like a hand in glove, embracing the moment and excited
Mhm.
about the future, but you're also equally in the moment, you know,
Yes.
and that's a beautiful place. Let me ask you this as we bring the interview and conversation to a close. How do you want to be remembered? How would you like to be remembered?
I would love to be remembered as a woman who loved God, who was willing to help people come to the realization of who Jesus is. And I want to just share this one little tidbit. I was one of the praise and worship leaders at World Harvest Church in Columbus, Ohio, which was one of the main churches uh, back when I was a kid. No, when I was younger. But I remember this one girl. She didn't have any legs, and she was in a wagon, and I don't even think she had arms. And we were getting ready to start the camp meeting, and they came up to me and they was like, "Can you please just come and say hi? My daughter loves you." Da da da. I don't even think she could talk, and so I jumped off the platform and I ran down there, and she was like, "Oh," because I don't think she, I mean, she couldn't talk. And they were like, "You have absolutely made her life and made her day." And I thought about that, and I heard the Holy Spirit say to me, "It takes nothing to be nice. It takes nothing." He said, "These people want nothing from you but a hello
Yep.
and a smile." And I think in ministry, that is missing, because now we have become so uh, whatever in our own minds, when people just want to say hello to you. I mean, it's hard to even get these quote unquote singers and people like that to even say hello. I'm like, just say hello, smile.
Yeah.
And so that I want to be remembered as a person that took that time with someone that can't give you anything back.
Yeah.
Uh, but I want to be known for that. I have so many testimonies like that that blessed people's lives, and that I want to be remembered for someone that loved God. I want to be remembered for someone that took the time to say hello. I would sign Bibles. I mean, it was just, it was, but to God be the glory, because you don't know the difference that you're making in people's lives. And I may never be famous, and I may never, you know, do all those other things. But I love Jesus,
Yeah.
and I am the person that has been forgiven of much, and so I love much.
That's so awesome. So awesome. Listen, you have a single out, but before even the single, you were supposed to be on tour this year, and COVID-19 just disrupted the whole deal. tell
Yes.
us, tell us about the album, and tell us about your single.
Okay. The latest CD is called My Testimony. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Dun.
Uh-huh.
It's called My Testimony. And the tagline is, "You will find your testimony in my testimony." Because I wrote nine of the 10 songs. And it's just, I thank you in your presence, Holy Spirit, breathe, you know, things like that really bring the presence of God. The CD I did before this one is called Pure Worship, which is straight worship. And some people were like, it's just, if you love worship, you can put it on.
Yeah.
And both of these CDs are available everywhere, Amazon, iTunes, Um, so go get yours today.
Put the CD back up again, and
Yeah, with that cute picture. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Wait a minute.
there you go. There you go. We see it. There you go. My testimony. Good stuff. How else can people follow you and stay tuned with you? I know you, just as I do, have a show on Fishbowl Radio Network. Tell us about your show, and tell us about anything else that you have where individuals can follow you on social media and so forth.
Okay, my website is CherylBoggs.com, and that's Cheryl y'all seen it there. He spelled my
Yes.
name wrong on his thing, but it's okay.
Where
It's
did I spell it wrong? Where did I spell
Boggs.
it wrong?
I don't know. You put like a whole bunch of. I was looking like, whose name is that? CherylBoggs.com. You can order the music from there as well. I have a radio show that's heard every Monday from 5 to 7 Central, 6 to 8 Eastern on Fishbowl Radio Network. Just happens to come on right before Effective Living with Coach Ricardo Miller. So it's every Monday from 5 to 7 Central on Fishbowl Radio Network. You can also follow me on social media. You can see it on Facebook on Cheryl Boggs Media page. My email, really easy, CherylBoggsMusic@gmail.com. You can reach out to me. And I just did a Christmas single for the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah.
And it's called The First Noel. And we put a little gospel feel to it, a little jazz, a little gospel.
Nice.
It'll bless you. So you can go to my website right now. If you go to my website, CherylBoggs.com, and order it, download it from there, you get entered into a contest where you can win either one of these. Wait a minute. One of these.
There we go. There you go.
Or my Pure Worship CD. But if you order from iTunes and all of these, God bless you. But you can only be entered into the drawing if you go to CherylBoggs.com and music store and download. It's only 99 cents.
Yes.
Now, if you want to be a blessing and get
Yes.
more than 99 cents,
Yeah.
we would thank you very much.
Come on, do your thing, Cheryl Boggs. We appreciate you so much. Challenge that person who has a gift that they have not tapped into yet. In closing, just remind them, you know what? The Bible says, "Store up the gift that's within you." Your closing thought to remind, provoke, challenge, to ignite those that are watching to capitalize on, hey, you got something.
Yes, you are who God is looking for. He's not looking for anybody else but you to do what he has placed inside of you to do. You are enough. You are unique. You are talented. You are gifted. And you just have to believe in what God placed inside of you and experience the joy in being you. Now, it does take something because you will watch everybody else and you'll say, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I can't speak good enough. But if God, did you hear that story, Les Brown? I had no idea Les Brown's testimony.
Yep.
But then I began to listen to it. So if you've never heard his story, then you need to listen to Les Brown's story and then equate it to your life. Stir up the gifts that's on the inside of you. Now, if you don't feel like you are the greatest singer in the world, but you can carry a tune and you feel like that's what you want to do, then do that. Don't let anybody stop you. But if you are a talker and you feel like you can encourage people with your testimony, then do that. If you are a baker and you want to bake and send me a cake or send Coach Miller a cake, do what's inside of you. You know what I'm saying? Do what your passion is. Do, and don't allow the outside world to tell you that you're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not this enough. Because God placed inside of us, each one of us, a gift. And that's what he's coming after. He's not coming after Coach Miller's gift. He's not coming after my gift. If it's you, he's coming after what he placed inside of you. So just be, I hate to say this, but just do you. Do what God placed inside of you. And if it's to bake cupcakes, then be the best cupcake baker. Is that good?
That is phenomenal. Thank you so much for joining me on this Tuesday evening. It's December 1st, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it just now. Be you. Go forward and give yourself a chance to maximize your potential. Don't allow yourself to watch everybody else flourish and blossom and embrace who they are, when the truth is you have something to offer as well. Thank you, Cheryl, for being a part of this interview. We're launching a series of interviews during the month of December, just reminding people there are people who are doing it. And if God can do it for Elder Cheryl, guess what? You got to tell yourself, he can do it for me too.
Yes, and we are going to finish 2020 strong.
Yeah, we're going to finish strong. So listen, if you're watching this, put that in the comment. I'm going to finish strong. I got to say this. Go ahead, and I want someone to put it in the chat. As a matter of fact, you can do this afterwards as well. But the website and the link for your CDs, place that again for those who are just coming on at the end.
Okay. CherylBoggs.com. You want me to type it in, or you want me to just
No, you
spell
can do it. We can do it. Type it in afterwards, but CherylBoggs.com, and then tell them.
CherylBoggs.com. All the CDs are on there. If you want to download, you can download Pure Worship, My Testimony. It's on iTunes, Google Play. It's everywhere. Spotify. And it will bless you. But CherylBoggs.com, you will definitely want to check that out.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Go ahead and comment below. Let us know that you went ahead and got the music. We also want you to declare with us, I'm going to end the year strong. Good night, everyone. God bless y'all. Bye-bye.
God bless you.